Welcome back to the second ever episode of Trail Talk. Today we are driving the FCX18, as you can see. Some of these clips have sound, some of these clips do not have sound, and that's mostly because my GoPro decided that some of these would be better without. Maybe it just thought silence is golden or something like that. Anyway, so in this episode of Trail Talk, I wanted to ask you guys what you're building right now. Like, what are you working on if you're building anything? And if you do have a build going on, I'm curious as to whether or not you kind of knew what you wanted the build to be like before you started. Do you plan your builds, or do you just kind of go with the flow and upgrade as you see fit as time goes on and sort of wind up with a fully custom truck at the end? So yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm curious as to sort of like what type of, route you guys take when you're doing your own builds. Definitely let me know. I'm super curious to hear about it. Part of the reason why I started this Trail Talk series is to hopefully get a little bit more of like conversation about RC going on between us, a little fun interaction. So yeah, let me know what you guys are building, and let me know if you had a plan for that build, because what this video is about is kind of like building certain things certain ways and having a plan for it. So with the FCX18 K10 that you see right now stuck in this video, I do kind of have a game plan for it. I was driving it and I was thinking about sort of like, well, what would I even want to change about it? And the truth is, there's not a whole lot that I actually want to change about the K10. For those of you who watch my videos probably know this already, but I'm a huge fan of the FCX18 platform. I really like my K10. I think it's one of the coolest mini trail trucks out there. And for good reason. Part of the reason I have so much fun with it is because of how it drives. I enjoy the fact that I have to take certain routes through the trail, and I enjoy the fact that certain parts of the trail are a struggle for it. So it's actually a lack of performance in a way that makes the K10 so fun for me. So that's something I'm going to try to keep intact while I build my K10. Obviously, there are some performance increases that I do want. Like, I do want some weight down low. I have done the wheels and tires, as you can see on the truck. But yeah, I do want to make sure that I keep the fun factor of this truck intact for me, because if I do go overboard with the upgrades, I may wind up with something that's actually less fun than it was stock. Anyway, yeah, that's just sort of what I was thinking when I was out driving the FCX18. And it actually was all inspired by a comment I received on the Emax video I posted recently. The commenter basically just said it was cool that I was, trying to basically keep it stock, but just beef it up a little bit upgrades wise, just to kind of enjoy it for what it is. Do you guys have any builds like that? Anything you're working on where you're really just trying to accentuate, the model for what it is versus, I guess, what it could be? I'd be interested to hear. I definitely can think of a few platforms that lend themselves better to like an OEM Plus style upgrade versus, like an all-out build. I think like older Tamiya kits are obviously perfect for that. Nobody needs a 100 mile an hour grasshopper, but it's totally a worthwhile endeavor to upgrade a grasshopper to be basically the best grasshopper it can be. And a lot of scale stuff, like in the scale world, we lose a lot of performance for the aesthetic purposes, and that's really sort of where the FCX18 is landing for me. Is I really want to maintain not only the scale look, but the scale driving of it even, and yeah, that's important to me on this build. But like, yeah, older Traxxas stuff like my Emax or like an old Stampede or something like that, I feel like those kind of things really lend themselves to a tasteful upgrading process versus like a huge upgrading process. I guess that's like one of the more beautiful things about this hobby. We can really express ourselves through these builds in multiple ways. And I know that sounds kind of corny, like it's like a form of self-expression or whatever, but it really is. And we can kind of build whatever we want with whatever platform we choose, which is pretty darn cool. And that's a place where I think these little mini crawlers and trail trucks really come through, honestly. They're cheap enough to where you can buy several and build several if you want to, and build them all sorts of different ways. And I do think that that's a really, really cool thing, and I think that definitely contributes to their popularity. I'm always checking out builds that other people do on like Instagram and other socials, TikTok, Reddit, whatever. And honestly, I spent a lot of time looking at stuff other people build. I just think it's really fun to look at, all the different ways people will build the same truck. With that being said, I think my Instagram link is in my channel description. If it's not, I'll put it in the video description too. But if you guys ever want to like send me builds that you're working on or show me builds that you've completed or something like that, I would absolutely love to see it. I've had a couple of subscribers send me their builds on Instagram, and I've checked them out, and they were just really, really cool. Lots of TRX 4Ms and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're working on something and you want to share it, definitely send it to me on Instagram, or I don't think there's anywhere. I think that's probably the best place to do that. Anyway, enough about builds. We're going to switch topics now that we've talked about builds for 6 whole minutes. I think I want the new IFS Zool. I think that thing looks cool. It seems to lend itself to kind of mostly the type of running that I like to do, which is like trail running and stuff like that. So that may be something we'll see on the channel sometime soon. We'll just have to see, money and stuff like that. But it's something I would like to do for sure. Looks like a cool rig. Anyway, you guys, I think that's pretty much it for this episode of Trail Talk. I hope you liked it, and if you did, you should give me a like. And if you're new here, you should subscribe. I make all sorts of different videos throughout the week. Right now, anyway, I'm trying to post at least 3 a week, but at least 1 as an overall rule of thumb. And yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, you should. And that's pretty much a video. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.